and welcome to another segment of AstrologyAnswers.com's weekly horoscope. My name is Terrence Scardino. Well, this is going to be one eventful week. On Wednesday, the 23rd, is a full moon when matters come to a head. But this full moon is a lunar eclipse. We usually have 2 lunar eclipses and 2 solar eclipses per year. They're about 6 months apart. This lunar eclipse often puts a real spotlight on relationships in general, but this one is in Libras at 3 degrees of Libra. If you have any planets that first is, let's say, 0, 6, 7 degrees of Libra or opposite in Aries, this eclipse is going to make a direct impact on your life. But being in Libra is the sign of partnerships and relationships, and the full moon brings matters to a head. The eclipse intensifies, so there could be a lot of testing of relationships. As Jupiter, planet of expansion, money, freedom, will be in a hard angle to Saturn. Now, this has been going on all month, but this on the 23rd is when it's exact. And the full moon lunar eclipse is locking in that Jupiter-Saturn energy over these next couple of months. This can be a time of a lot of restlessness. People change jobs. There's a lot of economic worries because the Jupiter is trying to expand and be hopeful, and it's being blocked or restricted, delayed by Saturn. But on Monday, the 21st, communication Mercury will be leaving more sensitive, caring, thoughtful Pisces and moving into more ambitious, aggressive, fiery Aries. So your mind's going to be more quick and alert and agitated to make all these decisions. I would just recommend that you don't make any really important decisions this week, because with a lunar eclipse, it's a darkening of the light or the darkening of the moon. And so often you just don't have all the information. And you might be making decisions based on fear because of the Jupiter-Saturn. You might be really worried about finances. By Thursday, communication Mercury is now going to be great with Mars. Now, Mars is the ruler of Aries, and Mercury is transiting through the sign of Aries. So there's a lot of ambition and fire. So the mind is going to be quick. It's a very active mental time. On Friday, Saturn goes retrograde until August. In general, this really affects more economics, business at large, not so much your individual chart, unless the Saturn is making a direct impact on your chart. And if it is, then the Saturn retrograde is just making things more sluggish, delaying more the results. But on Friday, Venus, that pleasure-seeking and relational planet, is going to be opposite expansive Jupiter and squaring constricted Saturn. So now the Venus with the Jupiter-Saturn, that could be testing relationships. The Jupiter is hopeful and the Saturn says, no, we got to talk about it. Venus likes the finer things in life. So this Venus with Jupiter-Saturn could be a lot of worrying about money. The good thing could be with the Venus-Jupiter, you're more optimistic, you're more hopeful to try to figure out how to bring in more money. And the Saturn influence, yes, it can block it, but the Saturn can ground you, give you more realistic common sense, and give you the patience to know that any work that you do will take time. By Saturday, now the Sun is very favorable with Mars. A good time for playing sports. It's a high energy time. You're feeling more courageous. You're more confident. As Venus is very favorable with deep Pluto. So being able to tap into some very deep personal feelings. At the same time, with the Sun Mars, might be feeling more confident to go ask for what you want. This is also very favorable for sports with the Sun Mars and for artists and with the Venus Pluto. And before I sign off, I want to remind you that I am answering questions at astrologyanswers.com, and you can find a direct link at on the description page at the YouTube video. And always remember to try to put in an exact time of birth if you know it. I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you next week for my next segment. Until then, have a great week.